Okay, so this is a video to show how to use the editor at this current stage. It's not finished or anything, but um, it's mostly to remind myself how to use it and to show any graphics which are not perfect yet with some pixel dandruff for magic. Okay, so I'm going to go through all of the features and I'm going to load a lot of things up anyway. I need to learn how to remember how to use it in case I forget how to use my own tool, intuitive as it is. Okay, so when you load up, you see this screen. This is the main editor screen. This is the tools window. You also get an output window here. I might as well start with that so you can flush the output window. Click and flush. Info, you click that and it tells you what is happening in the title of this window. It still says blah 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 because it's not working yet, but not finished yet. But this 726 TD, it tells you here, it means tiles drawn on the last paint, which means the tiles are only drawn when they're on screen. So all of these ones around here are drawn, but the ones that you don't see aren't drawn for speed issues. CW means chunk waiting to be placed, true or false. So if you load a chunk into the memory and it's waiting, and when you click left click it'll place, then that CW will be true. Scale is the zooming scale. I've added a zoom to the editor so you can zoom in and out, which I'll show in a minute. ZAA is zoom anti-aliasing. That's false at the moment. ZAT is zoom anti-aliasing text, so the text anti-aliasing. So that's the output window, pretty much done, out the way. That can help a lot for debugging and all the rest of it, but yeah, that's it. So the tools window here has a number of options. I'll explain this first. These red buttons determine what layer is turned on or off. So when they're red, they're off. When they're blue like that, they're on. So background is on right now. Ultimate background, UBG, that's on now. Foreground on, foreground B, animated tile, sprite, event, collision, weather. So they're all on now. I'll turn them all off for now. Some of them aren't implemented at the moment, but they will be. I'll just work with background for now. This down here is the working layer. So it says layer 0 right now, so you see that correlates with background. So whatever I do now will go to layer 0 background. And of course you can select other ones, and when you do so it turns them on. But go back to 0. So, okay, the file menu has the following options. Load chunk. Anyone with a star next to it, 3 stars right now, is probably going to be defunct. I will remove it very soon. There are old features that I don't need anymore because I've improved the quality of the editor. So I won't talk about things with stars on, but the rest I will. Load chunk will open up a requester which allows you to select a full PNG image, not split into tiles. And then once you select that, then the width and height things down here, they get populated with the values of the building or whatever it is. And then you click OK, and then it brings up automatically the tiles directory, and then you select all the tiles, and the tiles form the chunk. The original image is not actually needed. We just keep that for reference and for analyzing the width and height. Save map will export the map. Every layer will be exported as a separate text file. That is not working properly right now, but that's what it does. Export map PNG and JPEG. They export the entire canvas of the map to an image file. Right now it takes so much RAM that it actually doesn't work on this PC, but when I get some more RAM it will work. So right, I'll go ahead and demonstrate load chunk. So I've clicked load chunk. Now you go into graphics. Let's start by building some scenery. Okay, so let's say you go. Okay, well, yeah, we'll go into scenery. Houses, and we'll select Far House 1. So there it has brought up the chunk directory. Right now I have to do Control A to select all of the chunks and open. I have tried to automate this, but I can't find the code relevant at the moment, so it doesn't matter anyway. I'll fix that later. Otherwise it's just a case of having to do that every time you load a chunk. So here's a chunk loaded here, and if you middle click the mouse wheel, the handle changes. As you can see right now, the mouse pointer is the top left. So the chunk holder, the holding corner is the top left. If I middle click the mouse wheel, then it goes to bottom left, top right, and bottom right. These are just methods of convenience. So I've implemented a zoom feature with a mouse wheel up and down. So if I pull the mouse wheel down now, the whole grid will shrink, as will the chunk. It's just for editing. You can't do this in the game, but it makes the editing a hell of a lot easier. So, for example, I left click now to place the chunk, and there it is placed. You can right click to get rid of the chunk, so you don't have to keep seeing it. Now it's not very clear here, but you can go to the view menu and click this show grid underneath, so then it becomes like that. You can also show the grid numbers, which is not really of any relevance right now, but one day it might be. You can turn off the grid altogether. You can turn on zoom anti-alias, which makes it a lot prettier and things like that. And you can turn on zoom anti-alias text, which means any text will look smoother. Thread painting just means that it constantly calls repaint all of the time. This might not be needed, but at the moment I've left it in. But right now I have the correct repaint calls, so that it may not be needed. Scale to exact size just jumps it back to the original size for ease of whatever. Drag scrolling means that if you click and drag, the window will scroll along with you. That'll only work in scale to exact size, and probably don't need it now. I've added the zooming. Disable scaling just turns off the scaling. Okay, so the zoom, actually I only added it the other day, but it makes life a hell of a lot easier now, because I can zoom out and we can see more. So we've got a house there, right? That's on the ultimate, no, that's on the background layer, 0. These are things that will appear behind the action. Ultimate background, UBG, will just be the moon and the sky and that. So I haven't coded that yet, but that's something I'll do later. So now we've placed a house, we want to let's put some ground in. So if you go to singletons, these are special case. These are just one tile. When you click open, it won't ask for the tiles, because it's recognized it's a singleton and it's only one. And you can see in the chunks menu here, whatever chunks we load, we can get back there. Right, so let's say I want to create the dirt for the ground. So then I click here like this, and I drag it out, and I release the mouse. That makes dirt, right? So we can, if we view that in exact size, you can see it looks okay. There's some white lines here on the very bottom of this building. This is information for you, Magic. I'll point out any ones with graphical issues. So the white here is an issue. We need to cut off that bottom line. I'll just turn off the grid. Let's see, there's a white line there still, and there's a couple of white pixels up here, along here. Yeah, that's okay. Apart from that and the bottom, it's fine. Okay, so now I want to load. I'll just zoom out again. Now I want to load the top layer of the land, which is another singleton. So I can go. I'll just put the grid back on. All right, load chunk, land, and this is the top part of the soil. So I can just go along like this and drop in that. So there's the land top. So I'll zoom out a bit more so I can at least get this chunk all nice. Right. So I'll load another building for the background. So okay, scenery, houses. Let's load Farhouse 2. It asks for the tiles. I select them all. And now I have Farhouse 2. So I place Farhouse 2 like that. That looks okay. Right click to get rid of that. I go to scale to exact size so we can check and see what it looks like. So Farhouse 2 looks pretty much perfect, although there is tiny white dots here and tiny white dots here. I've reduced the colours of all of these to 32 by 32, I think, where possible. So, and they still look quite good. There's this tiny bit of dithering somewhere, but it doesn't really matter. For the savings we have, I think it looks very good. So just white there, white there. Right, so I'll load another chunk. Let's load Farhouse 3. You have to click name there to get them in order, then select Control A to get them all, and then, so now I've got another chunk. As you can see, the edges of this chunk all have the white dandruff effect as well, all the way around the edge. But I'll lay it first and see, right? So I can click that. It's just for convenience. You can swap the holding corner. See there, it was very convenient for me to be able to place it like so. And let's say I didn't want it to overlap there. I can go to Edit, Undo, and it'll disappear. So then you can place it like that. You'll see that's too high. Edit, Undo, right, just say it there. Right, so that's placed. Turning off the grid, you can see that there is white pixels here, 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 and all the way down there, and along the bottom too. So just the edges again are needing to be cleaned up. Okay, so we have the beginnings of a street, which is looking very cool already, I think. Let's load another building. Let's load Farhouse 4. And some of this is happening off screen, but I should do it all on screen, in fact. So I'll bring that back in. So there's Farhouse 4. This is sort of factory. Show the grid. I'll just stick this down here. It works on dual monitor, so it's a lot easier on two screens, but the recording software only works on one. So I placed that one. Oh, it cut off a little bit. Get rid of that, right? So you can place it there. Oh, too low. I need to get to grips with exactly how to do this. Right, there you go. So let's view. I'll get rid of the chunk with a right click. I go to View, Scale to Exact Size. Go along, and we can see that this house also has white pixels around the edges here and on the chimney there. Apart from that, it's just the edges that are really affected. Now I can zoom out. Let's build some more mud. I might zoom out. As you zoom out, you can see it gets smaller and smaller. The whole game world, by the way, looks like that is the whole game world. So that chunk there is, it's 500 tiles by 500 tiles right now, but we don't want to zoom down that far. So I'll do some more. I'll place some more. Right, looks like there's a bug in chunks here. It's not working properly, so I'm going to load the mud again. But that shouldn't happen. I don't know why that's happening. It wasn't happening today or yesterday, but it's constantly in development, so I don't know what's happening. Anyway, forget that. Usually you can click back to get a chunk by clicking on here and it'll work. But today, just because I'm demoing, it's not working. Right. So let's say I want to make a lot more mud, so I can just go like so. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I can go and I can say click here and put the mud right the way along to here, and then load back the land tile and make sure. Wait, let's go to. I'll zoom in a bit. I've been trying to make the edit as intuitive as possible, but it's quite a tough thing to do. Every time I need a feature, I just implement it. So anyway, that can go along like that, and it has to be a whole square. It's hard to tell when it's zoomed out. Boom, there you go. And again. Right, so let's load another house. As you can see, the street is starting to look quite nice. If you turn off the grid, it looks like a real street. So now we will load the next farhouse, which is scenery, houses, Farhouse 4, I think. Select the tiles for that. Open that up. Nope, that's the same one. Okay. This chunks menu would make life easier if it hadn't messed up. I don't know why it's done that. Right, let's load the grey coffee shop. So there's the grey coffee shop. And we can turn the grid back on and just place the grey coffee shop around about here. There it is. We'll view it. Now let's go back out. View it exact size. So the grey coffee shop is actually alright. The grass here has the white mottling or the dandruff effect here and here. And I guess there's a couple of pixels here and here, but they don't really matter, I don't think. You can hardly see them. So that's okay. Now we'll load blue house. Okay, so there's the blue house is loaded up. Same, the grass on the top is affected a little bit, as is the roof a little bit. So if we click there, that places the grey house. Actually undo that because it covered over the edge a bit. Right, okay. There, so there's the grey house, which looks fine again apart from grass, a couple of white pixels here and here. And we'll load, well, the old house is only half a house, so let's have a look. Right, there's the old house. No problems there with that one. Just for the sake of this example, I'll stick the old house here. It's only half a house, but it's something we can use still, definitely. Let's see, I'll just put it there. Right? So there's the old that one's fine. There's no white pixels there. It looks very good. Right, let's just zoom out and see what we have so far. So we have a little street forming, which looks awesome. What else do we have? Grey coffee shop, toilets. Okay, let's load the toilets. Toilets are loaded. No idea why it's jumping around like that. Never did that before, but as soon as you try to demo something, it does that. Right. I can place the toilets here. I mean, this is an example. Obviously, I would spend a lot more time making it look good in the real thing. So, scale to exact size so we can check out the toilet. Toilet looks good. There is a couple of white pixels there, and there. There. So they need to be fixed, but the rest looks very nice indeed. Right, so this has all been on the background. What the hell? It never happens. This has all been on the background layer so far. I'll just zoom out a bit. What we want to do now is put some stuff on the foreground. So I go to load chunk, scenery, outdoor objects. Let's say we want the metal fence, right? Which is kind of what we are planning to have. So load that in the same way. Now we have the metal fence here. Let's just show the grid on top for a while. So I can place the metal fence there, and there, and there, and let's see if this works. I should be able to go copy paste mode. Is this going to work? Copy paste mode. I should be able to take that. Okay, it's taking. Shit! I messed up. I shouldn't have done them on the background. Okay, I can undo them like that. But anyway, you can take a chunk of something that you want and just like that, and then you can repeat that chunk. Very useful for laying long fences or whatever. But things that go on top should go on the next layer, right? So I click foreground and then I go to work on layer 1, and then is that going to work? Oh yeah, so the chunk menu is working now. Okay, so I can click there, there, there. Let's just try copy paste mode just to see if it works on this layer. I might not have coded it yet. No, it's only working on layer 1. That's a bug, but it will later on. I'll be able to grab that thing, so I don't have to keep placing them. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That'll be fixed soon. So let's turn off the grid, all the showed underneath. As you can see, the metal fence has white pixels, which make it look quite awful compared to what it should. Apart from, oops, what did I do there? That's still a new tool, right? Just move along, and I'll put the metal fence all the way along here. Right, there, 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 there. And we can leave a little gap. Maybe there's a gap there where somebody can walk through or something like that. And this is just an example, of course. But it shows how easy it is to build up the world, at least, which is nice. Right, so, what? How's that happening? Right. So as we can see, the metal fence here has some nasty white stuff. I'll just turn off the grid so we can see that. Has the white problem here all over the metal bars, so we need to fix that. Because this scene would look very beautiful already, I think, if the white here, for instance, wasn't there. So, yeah, that demonstrates the metal anyway. So now we want to place, let's say we want to place some trees or park benches or whatever in front of it all. So then I can go to, well, first of all, I want to work on the next layer, right, which is foreground B. See, if I turn these on and off like that, you can see it. So foreground B is layer 2. So I go to layer 2, and I load a chunk like this. Let's say, what do we want in front of that? We want a lamppost, right? So we load the lamppost like everything else. Click OK. There's the lamppost, which again, as you can see here, is suffering from white issues. The pixelation and all that, the dandruff effect, so the lamppost is affected too. So we can put the lamppost there. Oops, I didn't want to put it there. I wanted to put it. No, I will. I'll put it there. All right, and then we put another one. Maybe put another one here. Keep doing that. I still need to get to grips with my own editor. Showing the grid makes it a lot easier, and not underneath either. So actually, I know if I click there, it'll definitely appear in the right place. You have to click within one whole square, basically. Okay, so let's say I want to put another lamppost here, another lamppost here, and let's just say one here. Now if I turn off the grid, you can see it's starting to look like a very nice representation of the level. And as you zoom out, you can see yeah, it's a nice street with lampposts. Would look brilliant if we didn't have the white issues, but that's half the reason I'm making this video. One reason is to remind myself how to use the tool in case I forget, and another is to show the problems with any of the graphics. So let's say we want to load a park bench, still on the same layer. We can go load chunk, find the park bench, click on it, load all its tiles, open. I'm going to put a park bench about here. Nope. Yeah, that'll do. Will do. Okay. I'll put it, yeah, I'll just put it there. So there's a park bench. And again, if you turn off the grid, you can see that the park bench does suffer from the white all the way along there, there. Again, the same issue. dandruff effect. There's another park bench. We'll put one here as well, so the park bench suffers. What else? Let's say we want a picnic table, right? So we've got the picnic table. Load that. Maybe I should upgrade the editor so it automatically splits up an image into tiles and I don't have to manually create the tiles and do all of this. Probably by the time I watch this video again in the future, I'll have already done that, but for now it hasn't been done. Park bench placed there. As you can see, it's still got the white problem around it. This is obviously my fault because I reduced them from 24-bit to 32 colors, which we need to do for memory, and then obviously the transparency messed up a little bit, so hopefully we can fix that. I know it's probably going to be some work to do, but it seems to be that we need it. And we'll put a park bench here. What else do we want? Let's load some trees. So there's a tree. Tree looks good. The white is not affecting the tree. It looks awesome, I think. Now we don't want to overlap, so if, for instance, if I put a tree here, as you can see, it cuts off the top of the lamppost, because that's my fault, because the edge of the tree is cutting it off. So you've got to make sure things are on a different layer. So if I undo that, trees can go on the next layer. Maybe I'll have to add another layer, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll load a tree and I'll go. I'll place a tree here. That works. You can see the lamppost underneath, and the tree looks awesome. Maybe a couple of pixels, but not really. It looks fine to me. A very moonlit tree. And I'll go along here, and I'll put a tree here. Maybe put another tree. Well, if you put them next to each other on the same layer, it's not going to work again because it cuts out the squares like that. So you've got to make sure they don't overlap, or you do them on separate layers. I probably will have to add another layer, actually, to be honest. Anyway, I'll put a tree here. And let's just say, I don't know, I'll put one there. Right, so the trees look good. Let's load another tree. Tree 2. The trees are all identical apart from the size, which I think is a bit of a waste in a way. We should have separate trees. Well, these trees have got the white pixels as well, but we probably won't use these trees anyway. We'll use the one I've just laid. Let's load, test the other tree. Open. Yep, that tree has the white dots as well, but maybe we can just use a different tree. Right, I'll try the dead tree. I think the dead tree has it too. There's a lot of white pixels that we're suffering from here. The dead tree has a lot of them as well. Let's say I'll put the dead tree, I'll just put it over here. Oops, edit, undo. And there is shortcuts for edit, undo, Control Z. Oops, I'll demonstrate that now. Control Z will get rid of it. I'll put the tree there. What? Yep, as you can see, I'm still not perfect with my own editor. Alright, that'll do it. Boom. Oh, God. Okay, edit, undo. What? I'm trying to get it on the actual level. Whoa! Well, you get the general idea anyway. Why is that doing that? Chunk. So the chunks menu is working actually. Well, I'm confused about that. Anyway, the dead tree does suffer from the dandruff stuff all over the edges here. Let's turn off the grid so you can see that. Just it doesn't look too nice, really. Undo. Right. So now I'm just going to rush through a few things because this video is already probably 10 minutes or so. I'm just going to place a lot of objects randomly without making a nice street because you can see it works up here so we can demonstrate the white issues. I'm going to go through them in order. Right. Okay, so we've got scenery, houses I've already shown, outdoor objects. I'm gonna whip through these. 3 toxic barrels. Toxic barrels do have the white. Oh, this is a shame. Billboards. Billboard looks fine. Maybe there's some white there. I don't know if that's a reflection. I'm not sure. Fallen metal barrel. Couple of white there. This is a fountain. There's a lot of whites on that. Lampposts. Yeah, I've got to automate that. Oh, we did lampposts. Yeah, there is white on that. But most of the objects have something actually. These are the separate street lamps. They look okay. Arguably, there is a couple of pixels there, I guess, but they look not bad. And also, every image has to be divisible by 32. The lampposts weren't. I had to adjust that in Photoshop to make it 1 pixel wider or something. So we need to make sure they're all divisible, so I don't have to waste time doing that. Metal barrel. Have we done this? Metal barrel there. That's got the white on it. As you can see, it's got white there, there. Metal fence. We just did the metal fence, but I'll do it again quickly. As you can see, there's white there. Metal fence 2. Again, same problem. The white on the bars there. Metal fence with wood. I'll just move along a bit here. Same issue. White on the bars there. Oops, I'll put that. Park bench. I'll do again. Got white. Again, I would say they all suffer from it. Actually, they all have it. We saw picnic table does too. The best way would be to load them in Photoshop, put a black backdrop behind them, and then you'll be able to see. Of course, I'm sure you already know that. Here's the statue, which I love, by the way, but yeah, the edges have the white on still due to the reduction in colors that I did. Right. Load chunk. Steps. Got the same problem there on the steps. I'm going to pause the video now because I'm worried it'll crash and I'll lose everything I've done, so part 2 will come up in a sec.